Hello, this is Priscilla Batzell. I'm in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Float Art Studio, and this is a 12 by 16 inch canvas. I have some leftovers from yesterday's awesome painting, which was 9106, I think. I'm going to use some Sherwin Williams white latex around the outside edge of my canvas, and a little bit on the inside too. I may move that around a little bit. I'm definitely going to spread this out though. So I will mention in the description what the colors were that I used yesterday. And I may add more of them today, chances are. It's not impossible, but there seems to be quite a bit of pillow paint mixed in with the colors from yesterday, so I don't know what's going to happen. I do usually like working with leftovers, but I had such a nice result yesterday that I don't know. I just don't know. Now, my turntable was unlovely yesterday, and I wish I had checked that first today. But if my pillow paint isn't too far out, of the center, then I should be okay. I'm going to use a wide swipe card and some Australian Floetrol, both black and some white. And then we'll see what else. Kind of wanted that purple, and I think in order to, yep, the marble attached to the piece of tape hanging over my head attached to the camera is kind of working. So that paint stayed fairly good. It didn't glop up at all, surprisingly. And it reminds me there was some aubergine in this one. Or some, maybe it was the, what's the violet? I'm looking for something, not marooned. Yeah, the indigo violet is the bomb. I might want a little bit more of that. Yep, the marble's still working. Well, let's hope it continues to do so. So I definitely want to add something else, and I think what that something else is going to be is some Primary Elements Rhapsody Rose, which was in there to begin with. And a little bit more of the indigo violet. And anything else I might happen to want could be something turquoisey. Do I dare? I didn't put this in yesterday, but I'm going to do it today anyway. Here's some Mystique, which is a primary element. I have a leftover pan of green stuff. I think I'm going to use some of my Mayan gold. Oh, and I've got paint on my swipe card. Pretty sure that came from the false start. Okay, so now I've got my curve facing down, and I'm going to switch that around. And what else am I going to do? I'm going to add a little bit more of the Rhapsody Rose. I'm going to add a little bit more of everything. This was the Indian Spice. This was also in yesterday's piece. And Quinacridone Nickel Hazel Gold by Golden. Wish me luck. I didn't put any of the Wild Orchid in, and Wild Orchid is a Prizm pour. And look for the 20% off coupon code for Colourarte products. Underneath show more. Let's grab the black. There's the card I was using the other day. Let's use that. That might work. Well, I hope so. Oh, you know what? I've got something that I think is, I know it's leftover. I think it's either abalone or French silk. I believe it's French silk, to tell you the truth. But it's been sitting in this little container for so long that it's easy to forget what it is, and it needs to be used up. And I might just scrape that out. Because I can. The name of my first book on the Amazon link. Right next to my second book called Unlimited Possibilities. Now because I'm swiping, I'm not worried about that not being the correct viscosity. I'm just worried about using it up. Which is not as easy as I thought it would be. A moment to rinse off my hands, and here goes whatever's coming. Alright, here's the black, Amsterdam black in Australian Floetrol. I have no idea. Sometimes my bottles sit in the sun and I think it changes the constitution of them occasionally. And here's the Mayan gold. That was Amsterdam white in Aussie Floetrol. I'm going from the big end. Am I? Yeah, I am. Now I got good cells to begin with, but it's tempting to maybe use a smaller card and go back and hit this space over here. And maybe I'll use a little bit of P.E Iridescent Blue Violet cell activator and a much smaller card. I just like a variation on a theme. That's the P.E Iridescent Blue Violet, which by the way you can find on Pixel Paint Designs, which I have a coupon code for now. And yes, I'm recording to people lurking in the hallway. That's going in the bucket. It's time. Wow, that turned out pretty cool. It's time to scoop and drag. I try and keep it curvy because if I put straight lines in, I'm not as happy. It's hard covering up beautiful cells with something that isn't beautiful cells, but it all comes out in the end. It all works out. Release the pressure by pulling up. Take your time and let it rest so it will deposit more. If you scrape down a canvas, make sure you go back over it again. Know that everything on the edges will probably disappear by spinning out. I remember the Indigo Violet was really good at, yeah, my head's in the, I am trying so hard to keep my head out of the camera these days. The Indigo Violet makes beautiful cells and maintains their integrity pretty nicely. I'm going to have to go back over that zone right there. I'm trying to go the long way across just because it seems like I'll lose less off my sides. I don't know if that makes sense. Lose less off. And anywhere that I see a large area, I'm going to try and add some cells or a pattern, because everything's going to spread out, including that large area. I know I say it a bunch, but it bears repeating. And in my case, I want to pull in toward the center. Losing my voice. Excuse me. Because pulling anything outside toward the edges isn't gonna last. I had to go around that because I like that little pattern right here. Stripes. But I also covered up something cool, darn. It's getting there. Drips and dribbles work wonderfully well when scooping and dragging. Release. There, I said I wanted to save that area and I went right over it. You can also, although I gotta say it's risky, you can also pick up and put down in a whole new location. I just left a big thread there, which is not usually something I like, but I've been thinking about and watching Winterstrom. If I can't cover it up, I'll just put up with it because she puts them in on purpose. I do like picking up areas of paint and putting it down somewhere else. I will also probably, most likely, add a skewer and possibly spiral some areas out because they just expand really nicely. Now what do I have that I can move? Steal, borrow. If I drag a trail all the way but it makes a pattern, does that make it okay? We'll find out together. I'm thinking it's time for the skewer. Now I'm going to break up any little places that look like they're going to be, and pop bubbles. Look like that when they spread out, they'll make a lot of negative space, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not good. So it's really up to you to learn which you like. I never did one in the pattern of cells that I can recall in any case. If you want a small spiral, just leave your skewer in place and twist. I think I'm almost ready. Almost ready includes moving some things out of the way so they don't get covered with paint when I spin. So please excuse me for taking a moment and moving some things out of the way. Do I have a place for a small palette knife? I've been watching Winterstrom use her tiny little palette knife and she does such a nice job with it that it inspired me to want to do the same. And I think I'm going to have to recommend that I'm not the only one that does that. Now, it really depends on how much of your pattern you keep by how slow you're willing to move. So unlike tipping, I am trying to train myself to be willing to slow my roll. All right, anything else down here is probably going to be spun right off. So I'm going to wipe off that and get ready to spin. I'm also going to wipe the paint right off my palette knife. I have just enough time to do what I need to do, which is convenient. Let's make sure we can spin. Yeah, we can spin. First one way and then the other. It's busier than I anticipated, but it is leftovers and I did add colors. And I might have to spin out a little more because I was not that lenient with taking paint off the edges. Although they did spread out, that's awesome. So I've just got this left to go up there. And in theory, I could fill that in, and I probably will right now. As long as I didn't. Just bring some paint right up there. Paint will flow to paint, and as long as I have some paint to flow to, it will probably flow off as I need it to. Let's keep going. I lost a lot of my wild orchid, which I kind of liked. That should be the last spin, I think. Thank you for joining me. I hope you join me again. I post at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do give lessons at the house in Spring Hill, Florida, and I do sell my artwork. And that's pretty cool. Even those lines I wasn't too sure about are pretty cool. But just because I say they're cool doesn't mean I won't take a skewer to at least one place that I see right here that I'm not so sure about. Because I think a little spiral there is better than what was there. A few spirals here and there. See how big the little tiny spirals turn out? Let's do this. I don't mind the white. The negative space is kind of cool. I'm kind of wondering if there's enough color in there. But sometimes subtle is okay. And I'm going to do another painting with without using leftovers. I think it'll darken up and be nice. And anywhere I scratch will probably fill right back in right now, I gotta say. That's the usual way things work. I got 1 minute left to tell you guys whatever I'm going to tell you, which is my link tree is close to the 20% off Colourarte coupon code. I have just enough time to shimmer this at you. I'm not sure how much shimmer there is, but I bet there's some. Oh yeah, no, that French silk in there that I added, and I am pretty sure it was French silk, left a beautiful, oh wow. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it's kind of subtle, but it's pretty. The composition is fine. I don't have a problem with it. I like it, in fact. I will be looking for little tiny gaps like the one I just found on that corner. But for the most part, everything is covered. I love you guys. I hope you come again. Oh, helps if I zoom in, doesn't it? I'll be interested to watch the video back and see how many times my head got in the way. So thanks for being here. I hope you come again. Check my Amazon link. If you shop there, it's at no added cost to you. Don't forget Pixel Paint Design has Australian Floetrol, P.E products, and more. Definitely worth a check, and use my promo code. Alright, I love you guys. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you anon. Anything I forgot, you'll see in another video. Bye for now. Priscilla out. I want to shimmer this at you so bad. I have other lighting and it's competing. This is going to